ain't no game, boy, I came to do it blood.
All right. Excuse me. All right, everyone. Welcome to Tedeschi Shelter. We're in state 1381, at least for now. With Doomsday and everything, there's been a lot of potential changes coming up, but that's neither here nor there. Welcome to the live. Today, I saw a lot of people asking about heroes, and I know a lot of people are tuning in from some of the newer states. This may be before Doomsday. This may be season 1 for you. You might still be in the Relic event. I honestly wish I could do the Relic event. I'm almost tempted to start a temporary base in some of the newer states just so I can make videos for some of the events and stuff that you might be experiencing so that you can get a better understanding of what's going on. The problem with that is I wouldn't be able to focus too much on that base. I have a very weird attention span, so I would not be able to really upkeep with it. But in order for me to at least live show you things, it would be good. But alas, I can still show you things that are relevant to you that I have access to. Today I want to talk about heroes. We can discuss heroes and some of their skills, the best way we can go about upgrading them. I want to include that in the series of making your APC stronger because that goes hand in hand. So I'll talk about it, but in another video you may hear a lot of repeat information. So let's talk about what basic heroes you probably have. So the easiest way to show you here, the easiest way to show you would probably be to go this way and show you this way. So when we say basic legendary heroes, we are talking about any of the heroes that are not involved with one of these little symbols. So we're talking about the Undertaker, we're talking about Razor, we're talking about Militant, Iron Guard, Reaper, Arsenal, Destroyer, Shoot-A-Man, Forsaken One, Dawn Guardian, Warhound, and we could even talk about the developmental heroes. However, there is one that's not on there, and I don't know if they got rid of her, but I have her. At least I should still have her. Ada. Where is she? Right here, Ada. I'm surprised that she's not on there, but she might be for you in being in a newer state. I don't know if she was a sort of exclusive beginner hero, but and it's kind of funny because Ada is differently viewed in different countries, which is ironic. This is the one we see, but I know that in some other countries and stuff, she has black hair. So it's kind of strange that that's the case, but you know, it is what it is. But yes, the basic legendary heroes are the ones we're talking about. Those are going to be your heroes that everyone pretty much has access to, especially being in newer states. You will not have any of these heroes available to you because these are Doomsday unlocked heroes, and then you wind up getting more heroes. As you look at some of the formation guides and some of the other guides, you might be a little confused because you're going to see a lot of heroes that you don't even know how to get. I know for me, it was very confusing at first when I first started playing to be on like the Discord. By the way, if you didn't know that there is a LSS Discord, there is. I would suggest joining it if you're interested in the game or you like the game. There's a lot of useful information in there, a lot of advertisements for gift codes, a lot of what's coming up, and a lot of what's going on. But one of the other things that it has is guides. And a lot of the guides, you'll see hero formation and lab skills chart. First off, lab skills is something you won't have access to until at least season 2 of Doomsday. But the other thing that it will show you, though, is a bunch of heroes, and you won't know who they are or what they do. Those are basically your Season X heroes. Those generally get unlocked around Eden, and those are going to be your toppest tier heroes. They are going to be so skill specific and troop specific that you are going to want to know how to understand and read what the heroes say, what their skills say, and what they do. And because the combinations are somewhat endless, you definitely want to know how they interact with each other, because some heroes do not work well together and some heroes work even better together. But if you don't have that basic understanding, then you are not going to be doing as well. So this basic understanding starts with your basic heroes. We could take a few and we'll talk about them, and then we will kind of move on, I guess, so to say. We could talk about how to quickly upgrade heroes. What's the best way to upgrade your heroes to max level? But I can save that for the end, because those are more suggestions as far as how to build your APCs, how to gain your strength, how to improve your power level, all that kind of stuff. But if you didn't know, heroes are divided into two categories: combat and development. Development heroes are going to be stationed through your management station, which mine is over here. So you can access your management station over here by clicking on station, or you can go to the hero and click station down here. This will show you all the developmental heroes. Go ahead, click the owned button. This will limit what you're seeing to only those heroes that you own, not just ones that are in existence. Development heroes are very, very, very important and should not be ignored. Upgrading your management station is something you should be looking at doing on a regular basis. The management station and the military academy are going to be directly tied to your heroes hall. So whatever hero hall level this is, that's the max you can make the other two. So you got to be progressively upgrading in order to get more slots for the management station. This will allow you to add more heroes to get their benefits as far as development goes. And development heroes should not be ignored because they have a lot of benefits to them. At first, you're probably only going to be having the basic development heroes, but later on you should be able to have access to the others, and they're very hard to obtain. These are probably some of the hardest heroes to obtain in order to max out. The easiest ones are going to be your combat heroes. Those are going to be the easiest heroes you will be able to max out. So, as far as today goes, I want to focus more on combat heroes. And eventually, as the game progresses, you will get more and more heroes, and your basic heroes will eventually not that they become non-existent, but you probably won't be utilizing them as much as you would in the beginning. So let's take some of the first few and we can talk about them and their skills so that we can start understanding how to read hero skills and interpret what they mean. So let's start at the bottom here. Let's start with Arsenal. I think Arsenal is a pretty popular one that most people start with. All right, so we have the basic layout here, right? Of all the heroes. He actually has an outfit that he can wear that you could buy later on. This is not something that's readily accessible in the beginning. You can also equip tools if you have them. That's also something else that will come later on and not be initially available. The number here is going to be his combat power. This is how strong he is. Once again, remember, combat power is relation to the ranking, not necessarily the power or anything else that he can do. It's more of a ranking situation, more so than anything useful in battles. Every hero, combat hero, is going to be laid out the same. Your first, third, fourth, sixth, and seventh skill are going to be roughly the same. The seventh skill is going to be relation to your hero's formation, the entire APC. There's 3 options here. It will be resistance, might, or HP. Sometimes there's a combination of both. But overall, these skills are always going to be the same for every single hero. The first one is going to allow you to get more troops. The Awakened is going to get you more troops and a little bit extra might, resistance, and bonus to your first skill. The third and fourth are going to be resistance and might for the squad. But your main skills that are going to alter every single hero are going to be your second, fifth, and eighth skill. These are the specific combat skills that they have, and they're all going to be a little different. Arsenal here, this is how we can read this. This is his basic, his first combat skill. Basically, it says an effective range of 3. The target, how many squads he can target, 2 random enemy squads within the range that he has. What is range? Range is going to be a little bit easier or different to explain, I should say. Let me see if I can find a battle report. Sure, right here. You're gonna open? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so if I come to a battle report and I play the battle, well, I mean, it looks like there was no enemy troops, so. As you can see, technically there should be enemies on the other side. Why there's not enemies is beyond me. Probably because I was attacking a farm. Let me see if I can find one. Probably not. See if I can find one that has actual battle. I could do a... Here, let me do an arena battle and I'll show you what is going on. The basic layout of a battle is always going to look the same. What challenge? I don't want to skip it. Okay, so the basic layout is always going to look the same. Your enemy has 3 rows. You have 3 rows. So the way you can look at it is the range is from wherever your squad is, and then you count how many from there. So if Arsenal was back row, it says his range is 3. That means 1, 2, 3, he would only be able to attack the front row. However, if Arsenal is in the front row, he would be able to attack all 3 of the rows behind him, or all 3 opponent rows. So range is in relation to where they're positioned in this basic setup. So we'll speed it up because this isn't that big of a deal. Basically, combat power and stuff have a big factor in this. Whoever has the fastest combat speed will go first, and your heroes will go do combat skills. Your troops will do basic attacks. There's a lot that goes into this that you're not seeing, that goes on behind the scenes. Battles last for 8 rounds. But this is just to show you kind of the range thing is mostly what we were talking about. I wasn't trying to get too much off topic, but since we're here doing it, we're here. I might as well talk about it. Your hero, your formation will always be on the bottom in blue. Your enemies will always be red at the top. You can see your heroes on the left-hand side, the amount of troops that they have currently. And then the small boxes are whatever skills or effects are in place happening. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. I believe the red ones are bad. bad and the blue or green are good. This is what she has going on for her right now. It remains 8 rounds, remain 9 rounds. You can click on this at any point to read what it says in order to understand what's going on. If I click on his red, it's bad. So these things all happen to him. They're expiring, but this is what's going on with them. So you can click on those in order to find out more information during battles if you wish to watch the battle. Right now, this is my ladder gen Rose and Azure combo. Why I have that in this for right now, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's because I have the parts, and that's a whole nother topic discussion. All right, basically I won. All right, we already know that. So, getting back on task. If I... Oh, come on. I don't like Google Play Beta that much because it does screw up like this and I can't get it. I don't want inventory. You got to click it in just the right spot, but it's going underneath. See if I could back out and go back. I'm trying to get back to the heroes, and that's gonna... Here we go. All right. So if I come back down to Arsenal here, like I said, range is, that's how you read the range, is where they are, and then you count the rows in front of them to understand how far they can reach. The lower the number, the closer to the front you want them to be. The larger the number, the further back they can be. Rubader, what's up? My parts are a mess. Yeah, I'm starting to work a lot more on them. So I'm trying to get a full set of Baneblade quickly. I don't know if I can finish a full set just yet. So, but for Arsenal here, we're talking his skill, how to read it, because this is going to lead on into all the other heroes that you're going to come across, and understanding how to read the heroes is going to be a big thing. So if we read his, it says 50% chance to deal 224% damage to 2 enemy squads at random within a valid range. So if he's all the way in the back row, he can only hit the front row. So that's all he's going to hit. If he's in the front or in the middle, he has the ability to hit at least the front 2 rows. And if he's in the front row, he can hit all the rows. But if he's in the second or third row, you're limiting his range and what he can use this on. If you want him in the back and you want him to only hit that front row with that much damage, at least you know that that's the row it's going to hit. So how you look at this is up to you, or how you want to use it is up to you. But you got to understand what he's actually doing. If he's in the back row, you're not going to be able to hit their back row. It's just not going to happen. Not with this skill. If you look at his 5th skill, once again, the range is 3. 1 turn prep, so that means for 1 turn, this is never going to activate. The second turn it will. 50% chance to do 354% to 2 squads within range. So it's the same as the last one, except it takes an entire turn to do. Effective range is 3. So once again, if he's in the front row, he can hit all 3 of the enemy. Or if he's in the back row, he can only hit the front row. There will always be a front row as troops die, they will shift up. So there will always be a front row. There may not always be a back row. But generally suggested, it's easy for you, or it's easy to have people with shorter ranges be either in the front or in the middle. That's the general suggestion. It just depends on what your goal is. His last skill here, still range 3, so that means he will match up here with mid or back row. I would suggest him in the mid. I would not really put him in the back unless you want only the front row hit. And then it's 30% chance to deal 400 damage to 1 squad within range and suppress them, unable to take action for 1 turn. So this is where we were talking about in one of the videos. Suppress, it's the status. So you have suppress and silence. Silence means that those troops cannot cast combat skills. That means that hero will not be able to do any of their special skills if they are suppressed. Or if they're silenced, I'm sorry. If they are suppressed, that means troops and heroes cannot attack. That fully shuts them down. This will only last for one turn though, so other heroes will have it last a little bit longer or have extra add-ons involved in it. So to add him with a hero that might affect troops that are suppressed would probably be a good idea. So this is where a lot of that thinking comes into play, regretfully. I hate thinking myself, but this is where that comes into play. You have to start thinking about the skills, who they'd match up with, etc., etc. So, you know, how you want to do that is completely up to you. There are suggestions and things of that nature, but I wouldn't look towards any of the formation suggestion guides online because all of them are going to involve Season X heroes, which most new people are not going to have access to. So that's where this understanding starts and why it's important to look at it in this fashion now, so that when or if you do get to that point, you are already looking at heroes in a different fashion. As you get like things like SP heroes, if you do decide to get an SP hero and max it out, it would be good to look at what you currently have and see where they would get matched up with. For a long time, we didn't have the season heroes, but we did have Rose. And if you look at Rose, some of her skill, where is it? No, I think I was misreading it. This doesn't have anything to do with anything. I had her matched with Forsaken One. And honestly, thinking about it, it would have probably been a good combination to have Rose matched with Arsenal and Forsaken One. And I'll show you why. So if you aren't aware, just a quick summary. I'm not going to go through Rose. The goal wasn't to go through SP heroes just yet. We want to talk about basic legendary for any of the new people. But Rose has poison status. She gives poison to troops so that they take damage for a few rounds. The important thing about that is that they can take damage and not... Your goal would be to have them take damage and not be able to do anything back. Arsenal suppresses them, which means that troops cannot attack and neither can heroes. And Forsaken One, if we look at his last skill, I believe, his second combat skill, his fifth skill altogether, it states that he has a 25% chance to do 540 damage to a squad within range, which would be 3, causing the silenced effect, unable to use skills for 2 turns. So basically, they will not be able to do any combat skills, which means that if they were poisoned for 2 turns, they would be taking the damage and not being able to do anything back. So if you combine Forsaken One with Arsenal and you had Rose in the mix there, that might be a pretty good combo for newer people. The other thing is when you go to set up your APCs, a good general idea is to have someone who can take a lot of damage in the front, your stronger might people in the back, and your hit points should be in the front, but your resistance people should be first or second row, and your might should generally be in the back. Arsenal is a might or a resistance, so he's good in the middle. Forsaken One does HP, so he's good in the front. And then Rose was awesome in the back, so that would have been a good setup for new players who only had those combos available. So just a way to look at it. But since we talked about Forsaken One, let's kind of go through him a little bit and talk about his skills here. So once again, all the 5 skills are going to be roughly the same. This one that deals with the formation is different. This will be adding hit points to your entire formation, which is good for front row heroes. Support is a very... If you get a support hero, really look at what they say, but 9 times out of 10, a support hero is very good for the front row. There is the chance that support hero has better benefits being in the back row, depending on what they do, because you want to keep them protected. But most support that you'll come across at the beginning will be very... how do I word it? They will be able to take a beating pretty well, so you'll want them in the front row to get hit first. His second skill here is going to be 40% chance to deal 405 damage to a single enemy's target and afflicting them with weakened, reducing their damage by 20% for 2 turns. So this one states that you're going to give them the weakened status, and that means that they will not be able to hurt you as much by 20%. So, and that lasts 1 turn, but I think this goes, the opportunity to do this goes every round of battle. We talked about his skill here, 25% chance to cause silence effect. That lasts for 2 turns. We talked about that, so we can kind of skip that over. His last one here, his range is 2, keep in mind. So this should tell you right here that he should be in the front row. The range is another thing that tells you exactly where you should put your heroes. If the range is 2, more than likely you should have them in the front row. The lower the range, the closer to the front they should be. The higher the range, the further in the back they should be. This one is 30% chance to do 644% damage to a single enemy squad, which is basic, but it's a lot of damage to someone. Talking about range here, like I said, range is 2, should be in the front row, compared to a hero like Iron Guard, who has a range of 5 all around. Remember, it's what row they're in, and then you count up from there. So if he's in the back row, that means he's in row 6 or 1, however you want to do it, and then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in front, and that's how far he can reach. That's how that works. And yeah, I think we'll leave it at those 2 heroes for now, just talking about specifically. We can talk about how to upgrade your APCs. If you're a beginner and you want to upgrade your APC quickly, the best way to do it when you're talking about heroes, focus on 1 hero at a time. Do not worry about the technology so much on all of it. Don't split it up. I would focus on 1. If you go to technology, I would focus on 1 APC at a time, maybe 2 if you want to split it between 2. And you should take that same theory with heroes. Do not try and spread out your experience points and your medals amongst 6 different heroes. Focus on 1. Make 1 hero level 50, unlock it completely, and then work on your next one. That's how beginners should start off with your heroes. The further you get, that changes, obviously, as you get more heroes and you get more APCs and more buildings, etc., etc. But yeah, you should be focusing on 1 hero at a time, maybe 2. But I wouldn't focus on more than that for new players as far as that goes. Parts. Oh, you Bader, you brought up parts. God, it's such a hard topic to talk about right now. My parts, how do I say this? I decided to wait to put parts. I'm a patient player. I don't need to be powerful right now, so I waited to craft parts until I was sure that I could do the legendary part. So I didn't even bother building anything else except for legendary parts. So yes, it does take time to do that. But if you wait on the hourly challenges to the any speed up, you get a little bit of a benefit for using it. That way you're also not wasting too many diamonds. My problem is I'm very frugal with diamonds. So technically I could have a lot more than what I currently do have, but I don't want to waste. I feel not that it's a waste, but I'm afraid that I'm going to run out. I know it's unrealistic. I know it's something that's probably not going to happen because you always wind up getting diamonds somewhere, but I that's just how my brain works. As far as going past that, once you're able to get Bane Blade parts, that's going to be your ultimate part right there. I don't think I have enough for a full set, because these require the super energy core, not the basic energy core, which you build here. You need the special energy core, or the super one, I should say, which is, come on, right here. I don't think that's enough for 2 more parts. I believe it, don't quote me on this, but I believe for a legendary Bane Blade part, I believe it's 90,000 of these. So that's been a little bit of a travel, so to say, trying to figure out how I want to do that. Because right now, like I said, I only have, I don't have a full Bane Blade set yet. I just have these 4. I'm aiming to have a full set, but I don't know if I'm gonna have enough. I didn't realize you could speed up materials. Like last week, I've been playing for 10 months. Yeah. So yeah, you can. So you can speed up if you have VIP unlocked. Eventually, you can do mass speed up, which is what I do to make it easier because I'm lazy. And so I just finish now and boom, done. And you will also unlock common material, which is the greens instead of the basics. So you get a little bit of a jump start as well. But yeah, if you just, the mass speed up really helps. Instead of clicking each individual one, I just do this and boom, I can click that off and just do it as many times as I want. But yeah, it does make it a little bit faster, but you can still speed it up by clicking each individual one and speed up. That doesn't change anything, or I should say it doesn't change the fact that you can speed them up. You still be able to, you just it just takes a little longer. Your combine all helps. Yeah, so now I have a legendary part. I still need 3 of the what is it, titanium plate? Is that what it, oh, fiberglass, sorry. So I still need 3 more of the fiberglass in order to build the phantom part. And once I build the phantom part, because if you want to look at how to build your Bane Blades, I'm working on the engine right now. I need 2 fighter engines, 2 dreadnought engines. I need the ranger engine, which I have 1 engine, 1 ranger, 1 fighter, and then I need the phantom engine. So I need 3 legendary. For me, anyone can build a part at any time. You could build it at any point. I just don't like to play that split rebuild game. I just like to do it all at once. So I'll wait until I get 3 of these, and then I will build the engine for this, and then I'll finish up with the last dreadnought engine and make the part. I technically do have both engines, because if in my APCs I do have parts for all of my troops. So it's not that I don't. I do have them all. It's just I don't have a full Bane blade, and I don't want to break up a set like this until I'm ready to switch it with Bane blades. So I don't want to use, yes, I do have a Phantom engine. That's a legendary part already, but I don't want to pull this yet to make a Bane blade part for this APC and then leave this APC with no part. That's what I'm trying to get at. The next video I want to do talking about the APCs in general. I don't want to get too much into detail, but there's a lot of stuff on this screen that most people don't understand. So that was the goal of the next video, was to talk about what is on here and how to read all this, because I have stuff that some people probably don't have, but at some point you will get some of this stuff, and it'd be beneficial to you to understand how it's read. But I don't want to talk about that now. This was a short stream looking to be about the heroes. So, yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. I'm reading this. They talk about migration. Yeah, so I think that's a good, decent place to kind of start, or just stop, I should say. I just wanted to talk about the heroes. I know a lot of people wanted to understand them a little bit better. A lot of the newer state people were asking questions about how to read heroes, not just SP heroes, or how to read more SP heroes and not just regular heroes. But you got to understand how to read them in general, and it's a progressive game. So you have to understand how to read your basic heroes before you should really start looking at these. Because once you start looking at your SP and S2 and S3, you're going to be like, I don't know what any of that means. So understanding how it's laid out is going to be greatly beneficial to the majority of people. So, and yeah, that's it. So I think that's a good place to stop here. DD ended for us, or season 2 ended for us, so I won't have any battles until the next season starts. So the next streams, any of the lives, will probably be just discussing a random topic, or I'll just answer whatever questions you guys have, if you guys have any. What do I have this for? Okay, that was weird. All right, anyways, yeah, so I do want to progressively build into stuff after the APCs and how to make them stronger and all that. I do want to talk about battles and how that works, how to read reports, how to do XYZ. There's so much that's in here for beginners to learn that you can't just do it all at once. There's no way you can do it all at once. So bear with it, because I'm trying to update all the information. A lot of things have changed since the videos that have come out in the past, and I need to I think someone needs to upgrade them, and that's the goal here. So if I can pull a base into a new state, I'll show some of the newer, or the older events, I should say, the basic ones like the relic event and all that, and hopefully we can get you guys understanding that so that you can succeed. I think the sooner people understand the mechanics of the game and take it a little more seriously, I think less people would drop out when things like Doomsday happen. I think that's a big problem in this game, is that it starts taking people into a realm of either they really like this game and they're staying with it, or they're just not that into it and they're going to drop out. So I think that's a natural progression of this game, but you know, everyone has a potential to enjoy something, so it's just a matter of whether or not they understand it or not. So with that being said, I think that's it. We're gonna call it a day, and I will try and get that video out before Saturday if possible, or on Saturday. But yeah, So, all right, guys, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your week. And until next time, be safe out there. Bye.